Hey travelers, welcome back to Laura's Travel Talk. Today we're visiting another state in our series of the 50 U.S. states, one state a week, and we are going to North Dakota. Yeah, North Dakota has its own beauty, and I know most of you are thinking it's cold and snowy. Well, yeah, it is part of the year, but then look at these other pictures. It's very tranquil and serene and gorgeous. So let's go take a look at what we have to offer in the beautiful state of North Dakota, which is the Peace Garden state. Well, let's kick off our visit to North Dakota by looking at some natural wonders. We're going to start with the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And, you know, it's named after the conservationist president of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. And this park is gorgeous. I mean, it's got those rock formations and the Badlands out there. It's got a natural haven for wild horses and bison and prairie dogs. And it's so vast. I mean, you can see by that picture there of the overlook. And it is gorgeous. That sunset picture really spells it out. And then they've got these HooDoos, which are, if you don't know what a hoodoo is, they're tall, slender rock formations where the top stays a little bit protective of the stem. And then there are beautiful hiking trails as well. So check out the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. So next on our list, we have the International Peace Garden. This is at the border of the U.S. and Canada. Canada being in the Manitoba region, and then North Dakota's border crossing. This is a serene spot, and it symbolizes the friendship between our two nations. And it's filled with these gorgeous flower beds and great walking paths so that you can just walk around and enjoy it. They even have a 9/11 memorial, and it's pretty relaxing to see. So make it up to the International Peace Garden. Next up, let's take a look at the Fort Union Trading Post. History buffs, you're going to love this one. This trading post is a historic site that was reconstructed to look like a 19th century fur trading outpost, and it lets you step back in time to learn about the relationships between the Native American tribes and the European fur traders. That seems pretty cool. And I've been to North Dakota when I lived in Minnesota, but I don't think we ever got over to the Indian villages there, the Knife River Indian villages. It looks pretty fun. So this Knife River Indian village is what's next on our list, and you can discover the heritage of the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara people, and you can explore these reconstructed earth lodges. They're pretty cool. And then you can immerse yourself in the Native American culture and the way of living in that time. So that seems pretty cool to see. Well, next up on our list is something a little bit more fun. It's called the Enchanted Highway. And if you're looking for something quirky, this probably fits the bill. The Enchanted Highway features huge metal sculptures all along the road, down the landscape. And each piece tells a story and makes for a great photo opportunity during your road trip. So you've got those grasshoppers and you've got those birds, this fish catching that dragonfly, the deer jumping over the fence. It just makes for kind of a fun little something extra on your road trip. So enjoy that one. Next up on our list is the Scandinavian Heritage Center. This is in Minot, North Dakota. And if you visit the Scandinavian Heritage Center, it's the only park in North America that's dedicated to the cultures of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden, which are the countries that make up what is known as Scandinavia. The standout attraction? Nope, not that. It's actually the full-scale replica of a traditional Norwegian stave church, which is that large building in the background. Pretty cool. Well, let's check in on a couple of fun things to do. First of all, you've got Medora. They call it the Medora Musical. You can, during the summer, in the evenings, you can head to Medora, and they have this outdoor amphitheater, and they do musicals, Broadway-style shows set up against that stunning backdrop of the Badlands. That's gorgeous. And then if you're visiting in July, You don't want to miss the North Dakota State Fair. It's also in Minot, with concerts, carnival rides, agriculture exhibits, and it's a celebration of everything that is North Dakota. Now, if you're there in the winter, you got to go snowmobiling. And for those of you who follow my travel channel, you know I'm partial to snowmobiling. I mean, my dad's in the Snowmobile Hall of Fame, for crying out loud. I thought I'd get that plug in. But if you've never ridden a snowmobile, all seriousness, it is such a thrilling thing to do. It is a blast. Go somewhere and rent some snowmobiles and enjoy that, because that is fun. They also do a lot of ice fishing. You can see this guy drilling his hole to catch. Look at that fish. Woo! And a lot of people do a lot of cross-country skiing. There's not as many hills, and so you've flat land, which allows you to get in some of this cross-country skiing. And it's just, it turns into a snowy playground in the winter. So go and enjoy it. Make the best of it, because it's beautiful. So as you can see, there's a lot of German, Scandinavian influence in the very northern regions of the middle of the U.S., because I hit on some of this when we did Minnesota. But when you're in North Dakota, you've got a food scene that has its roots in both of those areas. And so you could have a plate of nefla soup, which looks absolutely delicious. Or you could have some Fleischkuchla. Yeah, I looked that up. That sounds pretty good. Fleischkuchla, which is Scandinavian heritage. So the soup is a creamy dumpling soup, and Fleischkuchla is a delicious meat-filled pastry, which I feel like every culture has its version of a meat pie, because if you are in Mexico, you get an empanada. If you're in a Polish region, a lot of this is in Pittsburgh that I've had, you get these wonderful pierogies. If you're in an Indian culture, you get samosas. If you are in a Japanese culture, you can have a mito pie. Italy, torta de carne. I mean, everybody's got one. Because how delicious is meat, pastry crust, and some cheese? I'm just saying. I don't make the rules. But that would be fun, so you can go and enjoy some of that local food. And now we can come around to the Grand Forks Air Force Base in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And it is a base that has, right outside of it, an air park. And they have a bunch of airplanes and missiles that you can just go there. It's all free to see. You can just walk in. And all of these have been flown, or if it's a missile, fired by the warriors of the North at the Grand Forks Air Base. Kind of dig that. So see if you can get out there and see that. Also, don't forget to go to Bismarck and see North Dakota's capital. I mean, you got to see the capital of every state you go to, I think, personally. And then you are so far north, I just wanted to end up and tell you that, yeah, certain times of year, you get the glory of the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. And what is prettier than that? I don't know. So I want to thank you for following my page. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. As you know, I do the 50 U.S. states. I do one state a week. And then also I do a video once a week on something else. Fun, unique, weird, gorgeous, other places to go, travel tips. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And I love it if you put comments in, because I like to get suggestions or feedback from all of you guys that are watching. And again, I appreciate you all. And I guess I will see you next week. Until then, don't get too cold out in the snow.